L-A-U-R-E-N-C-E. That's why it took me so long, because everybody wanted to spell it with a W, not a U. Anybody here named Lawrence? I'm the only one, so you can see my plight, right? And teachers would correct me, and sometimes other people would try to correct, no, you spell that with, and I go home and ask my mother, how do you spell my name? And she'd say it again, L-A-U-R-E-N-C-E. What a weird name, right? Well, after I agreed to be here this Sabbath, I was doing some reading about the Puritans, and I brought with me several books if you want to look up some of the things that I say that you find hard to believe. And this one is a general history book that some mean-spirited teacher caused me to purchase somewhere along the river. I think it was in college. And I was reading about the Puritans, and one of the first leaders of the Puritans was a man by the name of Lawrence Humphrey. Lawrence Humphrey lived from 1527 to 1590. How do you suppose his name was spelled?
Like yours?
L-A-U-R-E-N-C-E. I got a really funny feeling about that. Because, and I checked with my mom last night by phone in Arizona, I said, Mom, do you remember your paternal grandmother, your dad's mother? And she said, yes. You mean Chloe? And I said, yeah. Chloe Ferguson. She said, yes, she was a little short Scottish woman. One of those ladies who could roll as fast as she could walk, you know. Died at an early age because butter and cream were in everything. And she was a Scottish woman. A Scottish woman. Isn't that interesting? Protestantism, or Puritanism, is a form of Calvinism. And Calvinism was the preferred religion of the Scots after their changeover by John Knox. You probably remember this when Pastor talked about Presbyterianism or John Knox. John Knox was ex-slave, and he converted the Scottish nation to Calvinism. And the Puritans owe a great deal of their thinking to the institutes that were written by John Calvin. He was a Frenchman, and he lived in Geneva, and there's still a statue there. That's here when Pastor showed you a picture of the statue on the wall, the famous wall that's there. The Puritans. Let's see this morning, let's do a little survey here. Let's see if I'm the only one who's been infected by Puritanism. Okay, you ready for this? I'm going to ask you several questions. A beggar's dozen or so here this morning. Do you have some Puritanism in you? Have you been infected as well? Number one, do you wish a closer walk with God? Anybody here? That's Puritanism. Do you think the church needs further reform? Anybody? Okay. Do you accept the Bible and the Bible only as a complete rule of faith and practice? Anybody here? You folks are in bad shape as I am. I inherited one of their names apparently, but you got some other ideas. Do you believe that Christian worship could be improved? Anybody here? I noticed that our elder this morning, Bonnie, mentioned worship. Do you think in every church there should be an earnest, spiritually minded, preaching pastor? Interesting. Do you believe in the priesthood of all believers? Anybody? Do you think the ring in marriage, the sign of the cross, and kneeling to receive communion are useless superstitions? I got a few. Starting to get a little nervous now, aren't I? Okay. Do you think that neither the Queen of England nor the Pope of Rome are the head of the church? Anybody? Okay.
Huh?
Do you think that the church is by definition, in other words, what is the church? It is by definition a body of believers governed from the bottom up, not top down. That is to say, we elect things from the local church. Anybody believe